Pastor. Hey, welcome to the heart of summer. Or maybe it's just the beginning of summer, whatever the case may be. I want to engage with you in the heart of this season when it seems like everything kind of shifts in our focus. The way we do church, the way we do ministry, it all seems to take a different approach in the heart of summer. And I want to help you figure out a new way to embrace and approach summer that actually might be set you up for one of the most engaging fall seasons that you've had yet. I want to help you stop surviving summer, not wasting your summer ministry. Some of the summer secret that a lot of churches miss, how healthy churches use the summer, and why your church doesn't have a summer problem. So let's dive into that today. Can I just challenge you with something that we've actually just kind of accepted in ministry? Summer doesn't have to be a season you survive. Summer can somewhere along the way, we've accepted this narrative. Attendance seems to drop off, volunteers seem to kind of disappear, families travel, programs slow down, and the church at some point has just stopped fighting that and just started embracing that. And pastors just kind of hold your breath until August or September even. But what if we've been looking at summer all wrong? What if summer isn't a setback? What if it's actually one of the greatest opportunities for you to actually grow your church? So healthy churches don't waste slower seasons. They use them to build stronger systems and stronger people. I've noticed something. Most pastors spend the fall reacting. We're trying to recruit or re-recruit volunteers, launch ministries, train leaders, solve problems. But what if the work could happen before that pressure arrives? During the year, everyone is running, and summer naturally things tend to kind of slow down. This is not weakness. This is opportunity. Here's a question you should ask yourself. Who could become a leader? Who could become that? Which volunteer needs encouragement? Which ministry system is breaking or keeps breaking? And where are the bottlenecks? One of the healthiest things you can do with ministry, especially in this season, is kind of push back a little bit and dismantle it. Take it apart a little bit and analyze it. I teach it this way in the Fully Engaged Church. It's called Tight Tuesday. And the idea is to disassemble the experience or the movement, the flow of all the things that you're doing to be able to kind of inspect the parts. I use this as like a NASCAR analogy. I used to be an avid NASCAR fan and not so much anymore, but I would, you just get fascinated with the approach of what it takes to get into a race on a Sunday. That's when they race. And then the analysis that happens after that. So after that, they take all of this apart, this whole race car, they take it apart to figure out, okay, what's working, what can be tweaked, where did we miss it, what can we do a little bit better? And they just dial it in because like microseconds count in that field. Now, it doesn't really work for us in this, but it does work in terms of like, okay, what's working and what's not working? If I asked you today, Pastor, if we sat down and had a question and I said, Pastor, how is your church working? Could you answer me? Could you actually define what actually is making the difference on what's working? Because if we don't know what's working, we don't know what's not working either. And we got to be able to figure out and do some analysis. And the way to do that is by asking some questions to the right people and starting with yourself. Summer is a leadership season. Most churches think that summer is for maintenance, and maybe it's not even that. Maybe churches think that summer is just for push back and embrace a slower flow. I think summer's for multiplication. 100%. I think summer is the time that you dial in your best intensity, your best, maybe not from a programmatic structure, but from you as a developing leader perspective. This is your sweet spot. Jesus spent intentional seasons preparing people before sending them. And I think summer is the sweet spot for you. Great churches don't wait until they're desperate for volunteers. They recognize the fact that desperation happens all the time. They develop leaders before the need becomes critical. In other words, leadership development and almost discipleship development. I think leadership development and discipleship are kind of synonymous at this point. But it's not something that we step into. It's something that we're occupying all year round, all lifetime round, all ministry long. We just do it with varying degrees of intensity. Imagine entering September, because that seems to be the magic moment, with new volunteers, with cleared up ministry expectations, with a revitalized element of an army of people to say, let's do this, with leaders who are confident. I think that's possible. Number three here, momentum is easier to maintain than it is to create. Every pastor knows this. Launching something from zero is exhausting. It's excruciating on some levels. Keeping something moving is much easier. Churches often lose momentum during the summer and they spend September trying to recover it. What if instead you simply try to maintain and strengthen what God is already doing instead of trying to rebuild it with energy? You would just preserve it. Number four, people want meaningful ministry. Here's a leadership truth. People don't avoid serving because they're lazy. Oh, this is a tough one. Buckle up. They avoid serving because they're unclear, they're overwhelmed. How about this one? Because nobody asked, because nobody trained, and because nobody believed. Summer gives pastors a chance to intentionally build a culture where people move from attender to contributor to owner to responsible party. Here's the thing. I want you to analyze this for just a second. You think you might have asked, or they might have been asked, but I want you to kind of analyze it. Who asked? When? And what did it look like? Because I can attest to this. The more direct your ask is, the more direct your petition, the more direct your response, the more direct your invitation, the more direct your response. Number five, false success is built in the summer. Farmers don't harvest before planting. Duh. Athletes don't win championships without off-season training. Churches don't experience healthy fall by accident. And this is where we go into like hope as a strategy. We're going to pray really hard that things change. No, how about you put into place what Jesus already gave you and expect the change that he wants to bring? The attendance that you're looking for, the volunteer engagement that you want, the small group launches, the community outreach, those things often succeed because of work nobody saw happening or during June and July and August. Summer preparation creates fall fruitfulness. It's a good word right there. I wonder if we've been asking the wrong question, honestly. I wonder if instead of asking, how do we survive this? Maybe we should ask, how do we steward this? One of my favorite statements that I just kind of swirled on and I've been kind of using a lot lately is the Lord will not allow you to steward what you have not prepared to contain. And I think there's a really good word in there. And there's some things that you need to begin preparing to contain so that the Lord can entrust you to steward. It comes through preparation. Maybe God is giving your church a window to strengthen the foundation before the next season of growth. Don't waste this. I've created a new idea and a new opportunity for you to jump into some work with me. It's something I'm really excited about. And over the years of ministry and coaching pastors, I've noticed kind of the same struggle. Most pastors know what needs to happen. They just don't have the simple process to work through it with leaders who understand. So what I'm doing is I'm launching what I call the Fully Engaged Summer Boot Camp. It starts right after the 4th of July, July 7th, or maybe this is the 8th. And for 8 weeks, one evening a week, we're going to walk through together some practical strategies to help you build a volunteer culture of engagement, develop leaders, strengthen your church's culture, and prepare your church for its strongest fall season yet. This isn't about adding more to your calendar. It's about using the summer with intentionality. If that sounds like something that your church could benefit from, I'd love to have you join us. You can find more information in the show notes below. I'd also love to hear from you. Let's feed back to me a little bit. What's one area your church would really like to strengthen before fall arrives? Feel free, send me a message. I'd be happy to pray for you on this and to encourage you. And if today's episode, if this is helpful to you, would you mind maybe sharing it with somebody else? You never know who needs the reminder that summer doesn't have to be something you survive. It can be some of your most strategic season of ministry yet. Be well, my friend. We'll talk soon.